Welcome back, friends, for some country lanes riding at last. Told the bee line we want country lanes, and hopefully that's where it's going to take us. It might be a bit of a mystery tour, but nonetheless for that. Lovely weather, as you can see. No, this isn't actually February, is it? This is earlier than last year. In fact, yes, last year. And a lovely day. So there's all sorts to enjoy on this. Yes, blue sky, white cloud, dry roads, and green. So green. Beautiful. A perfect day for me, and I hope it will be for you too. So, where are we off to then? Well, this is actually Lancashire, and it's not that far from home, but new roads, yeah, not that familiar. So let's see where we go. Watch it for horse riders along this bit, apparently. I love it when we go over these, we crest these hills and then you get these lovely sweeping bends. So will we have a story on this? That's the question you're asking yourselves, aren't you? Well, we may do later, but I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on these Royal Enfields. I mean, I know the Meteor, and this of course is the Hunter, and I've at latter end of the back end of 2024, I did the full service on Spitfire, which was much easier because of my skylift. No bending down, wonderful it was. And so yeah, that involved checking the valve clearances and changing the oil and doing all the other little jobs that you have to do on a full service. And you know, I'm just so amazed at the quality of this machine. And I know there's been some issues with Royal Enfield UK, those and other parts of the world, of course, who won't suffer from this, but they were imported. The Royal Enfields were imported by a company called MotoGP, lovely horse there, and then it was about April, I think it was, in 2024, MotoGP lost their franchise to import them, and Royal Enfield UK was set up, but no one really knew, I didn't anyway, quite how this was going to work out. And well, there have been some issues, let's just put it that way, in availability of obtaining the spare parts and things like that. Now I get mine from Hitchcock's Motorcycles here in the UK, and they've been absolutely brilliant. I've not had any problems at all, and certainly for doing a full service, you know, they have all the parts you need, and yeah, lo and behold, all done. So now it's time for Hurricane's full service, also 2 years old now, and in those 2 years neither machine have given any problems whatsoever, apart from a flat battery on Hurricane. That was my own fault for letting it run flat during the winter, and now of course it's on charge all the time, so that doesn't happen. But yes, when I got the Meteor, I was just amazed at the quality of the Meteor, and of course it's the same engine and the same sort of quality of manufacture and assembly that these Hunters have. So that's really my experience of Royal Enfield, and I'm sure that other machines are equally good, but I just cannot see myself changing from these Hunters, because they just do everything I want them to do, and riding these lanes is just perfect. No, they're not the fastest bikes around, of course they're not. I mean, what are you talking about, 20 brake horsepower, 15 at the rear wheel? It's a typical 350 single cylinder, and but it will get you wherever you want it to go. It just takes you a bit longer, doesn't it? And if you've got some steep climbs on the way, then yes, it's going to slow down. But what I love about them is the fact they're relatively light in weight, amazingly economical, and I just love the way they're handled too. They're very light to handle, perfect for me. So I've just got to concentrate here because there's a tendency for deer to run across the road here, and hares. Right, beeline, are you going to take us down here, are you? Is this right? Is this where we want to go? You'll notice that the beeline is now tucked away down on the right hand side, which you can't actually see that very well, but it's right in my line of sight now. I made a small bracket up for both machines, and they're alongside that speedometer, so I don't actually have to look that hard to see where we should be going. And yeah, we seem to be going in an interesting way, so that's all good. So we did actually take a wrong turning now there, so I've had to retrace my steps a bit. I realised where we were heading off to, and I thought, no, I don't really want to go down that way. Anyway, yeah, good old beeline. I love it. Yeah, as long as you take a map with you, you won't get lost. Which I suppose that defeats the object a bit, doesn't it, of the sat nav? Never mind. The story I was going to tell you actually was about a motorcycle dealer in Portsmouth, and it really comes about because of spare parts. That dealer, the name was E.W. Burness and Sons, and it was I think it was Eldon Street in Southsea, and he was a Norton Triumph dealer. I think primarily Norton and Velocette. I mean, very strong on Velocettes. There were two brothers and a sister, all three of them unmarried, and they lived above the shop. And they were absolutely delightful people, it has to be said. The sister, she did all the accounting, and the two brothers, they ran the shop and did de-servicing and all the sort of things that small dealers used to do in those days. Didn't employ anybody else, they did it themselves. And they were very, as I say, very strong with Velocette. Hello, we're off down this way. Right, okay. Oh, that lovely light passing through these trees, wonderful. Lovely little lane, this one. Yes, so they had these Velocettes, they had the Norton. I did actually had a spare part for my my Norton when it fell over and snapped off the footrest on the left hand side. Now, I was never keen on Velocettes, I have to say, and I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people. The Velocette is the machine that they set their heart on and loved, but no, not for me. Although the Velocette LE has a certain charm. A flat, very small, 200cc flat twin, horizontally opposed, side valve engine, not overhead valve, and an unusual frame. But no, I shan't be getting one of those. But a friend of mine at work, he said one afternoon he was getting a bit idle. It was actually is my senior engineer, and he said, look, I'm a bit fed up with this. Do you want to have a run down to Burnett's, Pete, and see what they've got? See if they've got a Velocette. I quite fancy another Velocette. He used to have one. So we went down in his car and had a little chat with one of the brothers, and they got chatting about Velocettes and how good they were and all this sort of thing. And so Derek, he said, have you actually got one available? And he said, well, come through. So we went into the next room, and there were all sorts of bikes in a state of in parts. You know, there was a frame with an engine, but the head was missing. There was a Velo with front forks were off, they were missing. And he said, I can't sell you one of these, he said, because they're not complete. So Derek said, well, you know, I've bet I can get some forks from somewhere. No, he's like, no, we can't sell any of these machines. These are spares. So what they used to do, because they couldn't get hold of spares easily, they just used to start taking the bikes apart. So you could never actually buy a bike from them, which seemed most odd to us. So Derek came away sort of a little bit disappointed, I have to say. Whether he was really serious or not, getting another bike or not, he did actually have a 400 Honda, the 400cc Honda 4. That was in the 70s, and then latterly he got himself a Triumph Bonneville. He got transferred to work at Christchurch, lived in Portsmouth, so it was a fair old journey. So what he used to do is to ride there on Monday and then come back on Friday. By the by, that was brilliant. You didn't really want to know that, but yeah, he loved that. He loved the Honda. I had to go on the Honda, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a bit buzzy for me, but then I do like singles and twins. Derek reckoned that the Bonneville was great, but it did vibrate rather, and he was always replacing headlight bulbs on it. And then when he got back after this sojourn down at Christchurch, he got himself a Jawa two-stroke, and oh my goodness, that was reliable. He just rode it and rode it. It never washed it, never did anything to it, just carried on. Not a machine that I would want, but yes, it was everyday transport, and it did everything he wanted, and that's all you can ask for, really, isn't it, on a bike or anything. These are some funny little roads, aren't they? This beeline is really doing us proud today, taking us down these funny little places. Not quite sure where we are, but that doesn't matter, does it? It's just enjoyable. That's the main thing. Yeah, getting back to the spares thing, I mean, how times have changed, because obviously we had a thriving, well, almost thriving motorcycle industry in the UK, and I used to get my spares for my Royal Enfield Crusader direct from Royal Enfield factory in Redditch. Just used to write a letter. Yes, write a letter. Didn't even ring them up. Didn't know how to use a phone in those days. It was a press button B job. I used to write to them and ask for well, a pair of front forks was one of the things I needed, because I'd bent mine, and yeah, cashed on delivery. Never paid anything until they arrived. And the same was true for other things. A new camshaft. I don't know quite why I wanted a new camshaft. I think I was a bit very ignorant then, and there was a little bit stuck up on the cam that you push the sprocket onto, and that was damaged. So I thought, oh, I need a new camshaft. Well, not realising that little pip thing was actually removable. You could just replace the pip and not the whole camshaft. Anyway, I learnt my lesson now. But yeah, so that was how you used to do it. Just write a letter and say, please, going to have this, and by return of post it would come cash on delivery. Wonderful. If you had a BSA, that was a bit different, because we had a dealer in it was what was the road called? Oh, Elm Grove, that's it. Elm Grove. Percy Kiln was the BSA dealer, and you used to queue up on a Saturday morning for your bits from him. Oh dear, it was right at the door. This queue wasn't down the street. It showed how popular BSAs were, and yeah, so when you got to the head of the queue, of course, they said, sorry, we haven't got that. Oh, blimey. But yeah, generally it was okay. Didn't need many spares. I can't think, what was it? Oh, I had the C15 then, didn't I? C15, the A65. And I was building up the A65, and there were quite a few bits I needed. And so it's a fair old number of times I used to have to queue for that. Of course, if you went in the week, the place would be empty, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, of course, we all had to work during the week then. Nowadays it'd be easy if there was a Percy kiln there, but there isn't, of course. No, all these little motorcycle dealers have disappeared, haven't they? Certainly ones that keep spares anyway. I suppose there are some left somewhere, don't know where. Yeah, Hitchcock's, of course. We just give them a ring, and yes, we've got that. We'll send it off to you. So well done, Hitchcock's. Thank you very much. Yes, they took over from two companies I used to deal with. So it was Deep Rose Brothers and who were those? Oh, Gander and Gray, that's right. Yes, to deal with those in the 60s and into the 70s when I had my Crusader Sports, which of course didn't remain as a standard Crusader Sports. I was trying to make it look like the Continental GT 250. Yes, well, let's draw a veil over that episode and move on. So where are we now then? Well, you know, blue skies back again, and yeah, it's a very pleasant little run. I hope you're all enjoying this, and we'll continue to watch. I have noticed actually that I've looked at the popularity of some of our videos, and the most popular one now seems to be gearing up the Royal Enfield Hunter, and I think second is panniers and carriers, fitting panniers and carriers, and then surprisingly enough it's one of my motorboat ones, which is sorting out how to operate the rudder and everything on a model boat. So this just goes to show the least popular are these rides, of course. So never mind. We carry on doing it because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the rides, and I do like to have a record of these rides as well, and I think that's why most of us do this. We don't get paid anything for it after all, do we? Well, you might get a few pence if you get over 1,000 subscribers and you decide to monetize, but yeah, well, it'll be a long way before we ever get there, if ever. Probably not, never mind. Yeah, deep shadows too. I don't care for these deep shadows. As I've mentioned before, I find those quite difficult to deal with, but never mind. I've got to watch out for horse riders along this bit too, as I recall. I think I know where we are. Yes, I think so. Yep, I recognise that slow sign. Oh, by the way, that Bonneville that Derek had, I was talking about, that was actually one of the ones from Meriden, the T120 as it was called then. Well, they still are, aren't they? Still used as the same names, but it was the air-cooled version, of course, back in the 1970s, and it was one of those ones built by the cooperative. So if you had one of those, I suppose nowadays that'd be quite sought after, wouldn't it? Don't know how many they did produce in those cooperative days, but yeah, supported by the UK government, of course, Harold Wilson's government, and yeah, it's a time of great turmoil in the motorcycle world. All these factories closing down. BSA's went in what was it, 1972, 73. Well, what a disaster that was too, what they did there. I think in 1970 they were producing an aerial Pixie in the BSA Beagle, and that three-wheeler aerial, honestly, well, I think that was the end of them really. But yeah, so lost their direction, sense of direction entirely, didn't they? Of course, many of you won't know any of this at all because you're not in this country anyway, and because I noticed actually I've got quite a few viewers from India. So hello India, my viewers there. How many of you are subscribed? I'm not sure. I don't know that. I don't know who is subscribed and who isn't. Well, apart from the ones that you lovely people that comment, and you tell me, of course, that you don't tell me you're subscribed, but you've been with me a long time now, haven't you? So well done for staying the course and continuing to write your lovely comments. I do enjoy reading them and always reply as best I can anyway. Sometimes I'm not available, but I do my best. It's a nice little lane too. Oh Yes, I know where we are. This is that crossroads, yes. It's that little lane on the right there, that's where I went down into the slurry. Yes. I don't really remember that. So yes, by the time you see this, the days will be opening out slightly, and yes, it will be cold, but hopefully it will be dry, and we will get some longer days. And longer days, of course, means we could get further afield, over into Lake District again, and over into Yorkshire Dales, Skipton Way, and up over Grassington, and that'll be very nice, I must say. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you as well. By then I hope I've sorted this beeline out a bit better, although actually I think it's done us proud today. It's been some nice little lanes we've been down. Hope you've enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.